Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Our first guest today, we have Tony Fisher, who is the Program Director of Life Sharing Services, which is a program through Family Care Services. Would that be the appropriate way to introduce that?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I know a little bit about your organization because I did interview a few of the ladies from the Life Sharing program a couple months ago, but let's first start with Family Care Services. What is the mission of Family Care Services and what are the programs that are offered?
Basically to provide a family setting for anybody that can't live in their own family. So foster care, we provide foster care and life sharing services in a host family setting.
And we're going to focus with you on the life sharing portion of this because that's your area of expertise. What is life sharing?
Life sharing is basically living with a caregiver or a host family that helps support you live a safe, healthy, quality life.
And it's for individuals over the age of 18?
Yes.
And who would qualify as somebody that could receive the services?
They would have to be they would have to get connected with the county and go through an intake process. Basically, they need an intellectual or developmental disability to qualify.
And what about the caretaker aspect? Who would qualify to be a caretaker?
We would approve the caretaker. They have to be over the age of 18, meet some basic background checks, do some training, that kind of stuff.
When you say caretaker, is this a 24/7 commitment or is this a certain window each day?
It would be a 24/7 commitment. You live with the person, you share your life with the person. They're usually with you all the time. I mean, there could be breaks. You find another caregiver to give you respite or what we call substitute care. So you could go on vacation and the individual would stay in another home or go on vacation with you.
And then if you are a caretaker, are you then taking on the responsibility of transportation to doctor's appointments or working to a job? Is that correct?
A caretaker is supporting the individual in all aspects of life that they can't do for themselves.
Okay.
So it's everything. Yes.
And is that, obviously, I'm assuming if somebody's getting into the role of being a caretaker, big heart,
Right.
They really want to do some good in the community. But I do want to ask, is that a paid position? Is it something that's...
It is a paid position, and that gets complicated. I can tell you that we have several caregivers that are making over $75,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be, while it is certainly rewarding, I'm sure it is not without its challenges.
Right. You're with this person 24/7. You're helping them be the best they can be. You're teaching them, you're mentoring them.
Do the caretakers have to take any kind of classes to be qualified?
Yes, the Office of Developmental Programs and their regulations require certain topics. They're all virtual. You can take most of those topics online.
If you were to become if you were a caretaker and you're getting ready to take on what would be the
individual or
a
person
to come into your home, do you have like a period where they try it out and make sure it's a good fit before it becomes more of a permanent thing?
Yes, they would still have to meet some of the basic approvals to even help. So like if they could get involved without having their home licensed and be permanent just by becoming a substitute caregiver, so helping a family go on vacation, you could help temporarily, and then that individual would go back after the vacation was over. So that would be a good way to try it out to see if if it's for you or not.
And then is that permanent? Is there like an end period? Are you signing up for a year, couple of years, 5 years?
We like it to be as long term as possible because it's to support a person throughout their lifespan. Now, as a caregiver ages, they need to retire, and the
Sure.
person needs to find another long-term situation. But yes, the longer the better in most cases. We've had families do it for 30, 40 years. Same individual living
Wow.
with them for 30 or 40
I mean, that's
years.
their family member at
Right.
that point.
Yes, and that's kind of what it becomes. They're sharing life together, helping support them through life,
And taking them-
and all the life stages.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then they go on the vacations with them, so then you don't have to find
so
a substitute
They
caregiver.
do kind of become family members.
Wow, that's really amazing. How many, just in this, you're in Chambersburg,
Right.
how many caregivers do you have in this area?
For the life sharing service, we have probably close to 20 homes. For foster care, more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find in our area, in your area of purview for the life sharing program, that you have more caregivers or more individuals who are in need of care, or is it pretty well even?
We need more caregivers.
Sure.
I have a saying, I'd rather have waiting homes than waiting clients. So we definitely need more caregivers.
If an individual is eligible for the life sharing program, is their family still involved and supported, like their immediate family if they're in the area?
Yes, the individual kind of determines who is part of their team. There's actually now, Office of Developmental Programs came out with a new service, unlicensed life sharing. So the biological families can become the caregiver for their own family members now. So that's something that we're starting as well. But yes, either the bio family can be the caregiver, or the bio family is as involved as they want to be in a licensed service.
Does this just really come down to the biological family just really doesn't know how to provide the care or have the means to provide the care that this person would need? Is that typically how it works? Or?
I mean, there's a lot of different circumstances around why bio families, they have a son or daughter that needs care by somebody else. There's lots of different reasons why either they want to continue to do it or they need help from somebody else to continue to do it.
Tony, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you found yourself in this role.
Family Care Services started in 1977, and it was created by my mother, Pauline, and her friend
my
at the
goodness.
time. So Family Care Services to me really is family.
Absolutely.
So I was 4 years old at the time, and I went off to college, was going to take a military path, but Mom offered me a job out of college, and here I am, almost 30 years later.
Wow.
Doing, I would dare say, almost equally noble work.
It's hard.
That was a statement. An opinion, so to speak.
I enjoy helping others.
Yeah.
Have you been
Yes.
a caregiver before?
I was a caregiver for 13 years. My wife and I at the time did foster care and life sharing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you, when I think of life sharing, is there a particular story or anything that comes to mind that you could share with us about a great success story that you've seen?
Oh my, there's so many, because like I said, some of our families have had the same individual with them for 30 and 40 years. I mean, they've shared their lives together. They've gone to concerts together. They've cried together. They've become family members. All of those situations are admirable, and we hope to provide more of it. Find more families that would like to do the same kind of thing.
Is there a limit to how many in the life sharing program, to how many people a person can take care of? Is there a
Yes.
ratio?
Yes. For the life sharing service, the maximum number of individuals that can live in the family is 2.
And the just so that everything out on the table, you said that it can be upwards of $75,000 a person maybe
Yes.
to do this. Is that per person that they?
That would be if you have 2 people. It would be
Okay.
close to that. If you have one person, I'm giving estimates,
Sure.
but one person is probably closer to 45,000.
Because would that essentially take the place of a full-time position then? That would be.
I mean, we do our best to pay caregivers a professional pay. You know, they are professionals in our mind, so we compensate them the best we can based on the rates that we get to provide the service.
Now, this pay is treated obviously like they would treat it as their pay, but are there also finances that help offset the extra cost of having someone that's living with them, or is that?
Well, the individual they will have, in most cases, SSI, so the individual will have some resources that they can buy things that they want. The caregiver, the home, would take care of all of the room and board type things, you know, the furniture and the linens and the food and that sort of stuff, and the roof over their head.
Tell us about the information night. So if somebody was interested and wanted to get some more.
Well, they can call Family Care Services anytime. Our phone number is 717-263-2285, and just ask. We have a website, familycareservices.org. From the website, if they go to the News and Events tab, they'll find a link to join an information night. They can send in a RSVP for attending the information night. The next one is November 21st at 7 o'clock.
And that is at?
Family Care Services, 4385 Edenville Road, Chambersburg.
Okay.
And is Family Care Services, is it 501c3?
Yes.
Okay. So tax deductible.
Yes.
Make a donation. Now, if anyone just wants to make a donation, I'm assuming same process?
Yes, we actually have a donate tab on our website.
So currently, do you have a waiting list of individuals who are waiting for homes and caretakers?
Well, because in the life sharing service, we don't really have vacant homes, so we can't take a referral right now. In foster care, they're always finding new homes, trying to place individuals that need placement.
To those that are individuals needing placement, and there aren't enough homes for them to go into, what is life for them as they wait? I know it's not on Family Care Services because you can only give what you have, but for them, what are they? Is their family just really bearing the burden as long as they can, or what's the process look like?
I mean, I'm not sure. The Office of Developmental Programs has a waiting list. There's lots of individuals in the state of Pennsylvania waiting for placement. I don't know where those folks are, if they're still with their families doing the best they can, or if they're in settings that they're just waiting to move to a more preferred setting.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys able to get out in the community and do information nights at different events so that you can try to spread the word a little more? Because
Yes.
this is something I didn't know about.
Yeah, so we actually participate in many of the different chamber events in this area, Chambersburg, Waynesboro. So you can find us at a lot of, Apple Fest and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Forgive me if you covered this already, Tony, but is there a geographic area that Family Care Services draws their individuals from, and then do individuals from this area have the opportunity, if something would open up, say in Bedford County or Adams County, can they also go there, or will they? Is that the waiting list? Is that the pecking order, so to speak?
So our service area is 70 miles from Chambersburg.
Okay.
So that's where all of our homes are approved. The individuals could come from anywhere in the state, but if they come from a different county, the placements that we have available for them are in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So our service area is 70 miles of Chambersburg.
And is there any preference as far as if the person is within the Chambersburg, within that area, within the 70-mile radius, that they would be obviously preferred to you or referred to you first before going out? Do they try to keep the individuals closer to home? Is what I would ask.
Yes, they normally would. That would be the better outcome is stay in your local community. And the individual is often provided a choice. So, the county would provide them with a list of agencies that do life sharing or group home or anything like that, so they could pick what would be the better fit for them.
Let me
This is great what you do.
Let me throw this one out here for you. I'm going to give you a couple parameters here and see if we can drill down on something. If someone is not able to open up their home and even be, say when someone goes on vacation, a temporary provider, and they may not have the financial means to donate. Is there a way that a person otherwise could help Family Care Services?
I don't know the answer to that question. Is there a way that they could help if they don't want to become an approved caregiver?
In other words, would you have perhaps a couple hours each week that you may need some administrative duties done, some filing or
Transportation or
something?
Well, even volunteers need to do the same approvals.
Okay.
So within the regulations require pretty much anybody that has alone time with an individual has to do the same approvals.
I'm sure that you probably try to match the best that you can and make sure that the fit is right. What would be, and maybe this hasn't happened, and forgive me if this is not a good question, but what would be the case if somebody thought, okay, I'm going to be a caregiver, they get into the situation, they have an individual that comes to live with them and they think, this is too much for me, I don't know if I can do this. What kind of support would you provide to that person?
Well, first, ideally, I wish I had more options. Like, I would like to provide several home options for an individual coming in so that the matching process works better. Right now, we don't have enough to do that. So you get one choice.
Right.
But I would like to provide multiple choices so that you make the right decision to begin with. But if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, then you find a solution, another home. Try to recruit other homes. We do have homes that are licensed for two, but only have one person, so that they could potentially help. Again, you're just trying to find your next permanent option.
Sure, there's a lot of unknowns, but it sounds like you've had so many success stories, and it's really a wonderful thing that you do. And I'm sure that you are in need for caregivers, and hopefully this touches somebody's heart and they're able to reach out and find your website, and we can get to that place where there isn't anybody waiting. We can find homes for everybody.
What do you, with the last couple of minutes that we have, is there a certain age demographic that you find that makes up most of the folks who need a home and need a place to stay?
Not really. We have folks in their 20s, 30s, and 60s. So I don't know that there's a higher percentage in one age group.
And someone who is older, like in their 60s, forgive me if I'm assuming incorrectly, but would that be someone whose parents otherwise were taking care of them and they had passed away, so now this person is left without care?
Yeah, so we do see referrals in that situation, aging biological parents, and there's no other family members that want to take on that responsibility. So, trying to find a host family is the next best option.
I would imagine that is, if that particular scenario, someone who has spent 60 plus years in their home with their biological parents, and then their parents either pass away or cannot provide care for them any longer. I would imagine of all the scenarios, that may be one of the more difficult ones for the individual to adapt to.
Well, yeah, anytime an individual has to leave their home, it's a bit traumatic.
Absolutely.
And we help the best we can with, providing some stability and support and comfort during really all the difficult points in life.
I just, that to me, when you were talking about that struck me as very heartbreaking to think that someone would have to go through that. It's hard enough when you are not intellectually disabled and your parents pass away, which is a natural way of life, unfortunately. I can't fathom.
Yeah, ideally we would like to do transition planning, so that we're prepared for that instead of it becoming an emergency, but often it just becomes an emergency. Yeah.
Well, Tony, before we let you go here, plug the website again, and where can people find you?
People can find us at familycareservices.org. If you would like to come to an information night, go to the News and Events tab, or just call our office, 717-263-2285.
And your information night is the 21st of November.
That's right.
Perfect. Thank you so much for what you do in the community, and thanks for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.